Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Grocery Store Joe gives his thoughts on Michelle and new Bachelor Clayton.
And I think Michelle is a great Bachelorette. She's just very real and honest.
Jamie shows his true colors as Peter and Will's feud heats up, and we break down all of Michelle's connections.
I know Nate is like the front runner, that everybody likes Nate. He's getting all like the making out. I still don't trust him.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly senior editor Sarah Heron. Sarah, welcome to another week of Here for the Right Reasons. We are 3 weeks into Michelle's season and the drama is definitely heating up.
Totally. And we got rid of a lot of guys. I feel like we're down to people's names I actually know. This season is moving at like an appropriate pace.
I know. And we said it, I think last week, it's like, we actually have like a format each week. We have like our group dates, our one-on-one, our group date, our rose ceremony. So it feels like we're actually like each week is a complete week, pretty much.
Nothing gives me closure quite like a rose ceremony at the end of a Bachelorette episode, and it lets me be able to move on with my week, and I'm excited to talk about the episode. But before we do, I did catch up with Grocery Store Joe, who had a little bit to say about this season. He was a little short with his words this week, but I think he was just tired. But here's Joe talking about how much he likes Michelle. First, I have to ask you, thoughts on Michelle's season so far?
Very enjoyable. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think Michelle is a great Bachelorette. She's just very real and honest. And I think it comes across.
And Clayton, who's supposedly, reportedly, allegedly our next Bachelor, have you any thoughts on him standing out? It's interesting to watch the show thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, allegedly, like you said, allegedly he may be. I don't really know. As of right now, honestly, when I watch the show, I really just kind of focus on like Michelle and the relationships that are forming. So that's kind of what I've been paying attention to. Have
any of the relationships stood out to you so far?
I think her and Joe, I thought last week, that one stood out. I thought they had some chemistry there.
But what about the ghosting? I can't let go of the ghosting pre-show.
Oh, I don't think that's a big deal. I don't. No.
All right. What about, what's his name? Jamie, the guy who is like stirring the pot.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I have no comment on that one.
Yeah, it seems like he's totally on board with Michelle's season and, didn't really have much thought on Jamie, which was interesting, but we did.
I feel like he's trying to stay out of headlines here, or maybe save it for the clickbait podcast, but we'll make up for it. I'm sure we have plenty to say about Jamie.
We do have plenty to say about Jamie. So let's get right into it. First up with our Bachelor buzzwords, what summed up the last night's episode for you?
Okay, I mean, I genuinely liked last night's episode, so this isn't meant to be a dig, but I did use the word repeat because we have seen this Top Gun date with Peter the pilot season almost to a T, and we continued all the same drama from last week onto this week. So It was a continuation, repeat, classic Bachelor episode, not necessarily in a bad way, but if you told me this was an episode from Peter's season, I also would be like, checks out.
Totally checks out. Mine was TED Talk Jamie. I liked the pun on that one. So Jamie went on these, we're going to talk about more about him in depth a little bit later, but of course he went on these rants and tried to save himself and save his character, and it did not end up so well. So sorry, Jamie, your time is up.
Yeah, it really is.
Definitely.
All right. But on a more positive note, who are you shipping this week?
I really liked Brandon this week. I think he kind of stepped it up, and it seems like they have a really good connection. He got his second group date rose, which is, kind of a big deal, like back to back. I mean, that's not so easy. So it seems like she really likes him. They have this really good connection, and I like Brandon. I like him so far.
I like Brandon too. I think double group date back to back is crazy. I feel like we never like group date rose. We never really see that. I'm sure he'll be like up next to get on one-on-one, really explore that relationship. I think he's super cute. Seems to be like a decent guy. I'm for it, but I'm sticking with Rick. Yeah. I really like Rick, you guys. I've liked him since the first episode. He, I feel like, did a good job of being the one to tell Michelle about Jamie. He didn't take too much pride in it, just enough where he could stir the pot, get involved, do his part, but it felt genuine for Michelle during the group group dates. It seems like he's trying to be a trooper, but he clearly wants that one-on-one time. And I just really like Rick.
I like Rick too. I think he might go kind of far in this. And it seems like, she really likes him. And like you said, he handled the Jamie situation pretty well, because that can always be a little dicey. You never know how that can go, but it seems like he handled it well. And I like him.
Okay, yes, I like him too. And I also just want to say Nate real quick. I know Nate is like the front runner. Everybody likes Nate. They're running with producers chasing them in a fun way. He's getting all like the making out. I still don't trust him.
I don't either.
In the line when he was talking, he was like the jacket drama, and he was laughing about it. And he was like, I'm laughing now, but really, like, I know Michelle wouldn't want me to be like, I don't know. I don't trust him. I feel like he's a little calculated, and I don't know why. And everyone on Twitter could not stop shipping these two. And I feel like a Grinch, but I just don't trust him.
I 100% agree with you. I don't trust him either. There's something about him that just feels a little off to me, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. I trust Joe more than I trust Nate, and Joe's the one that ghosted her.
It's confusing.
It is confusing. All right. Well, let's move on, because we know that this show is all about a good one-liner. So what did your line of the night go to?
Quick shout out to Clayton for saying so far I haven't been able to stand out, and then keeping that in there during the first group date. It just made me giggle, because we know he's the Bachelor and he has in fact done absolutely nothing so far. But I thought Will was really cute at the beginning of this date, before he was back in his drama, when he had his motion sickness pills. He was nervous, but he still went for it. And he was like, they were like, do you need a puke bucket? And he was like, I need you, to Michelle. And I was like, it was cheesy, but it worked in the moment during that Top Gun date.
It totally did. Mine went to the whole Will and Peter thing. Yes, I'm so over it, but they did give us some good one-liners during their little spat. He said, bro, you hate my mouth because you wish you had it. And then Peter says, I change lives one slice at a time. They were just some funny little quips, funny little one-liners, but it seems like that drama is officially behind us, which I'm happy with.
You're laughing just saying it, which is all, you know what I mean? This fight actually, as silly and stupid as it was, which I know we'll get into the jacket even more, yeah. I laughed at it enough, and it was like so absurd. They were saying the weirdest things to each other. It made absolutely no sense. And Michelle didn't have to get involved. Yes. It was like an interesting little nugget of drama that didn't like take over the whole show. And I kind of appreciated that.
I kind of appreciated it too. And I kind of liked how the guys handled it too, because they were like, we're not even going to bring this to Michelle's attention, because it's just going to throw off her night after coming off like an awkward night before. So I thought, like you said, that they handled it really well. So kudos to the guys for being mature about things for once.
Yeah, literally for once. But that does transition right into the thirst, because your thirsty moment is part of this Peter Will feud.
It was. Peter throwing the jacket in the pool was just so ridiculous. And, but what is even more ridiculous to me was that Will started crying because he threw the jacket in the pool.
That's my cringe. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump ahead.
It went too far for me, the tears. It really did. But yeah, the whole jacket feud. I mean, it was a great jacket. Love a nice ad for the Top Gun reboot movie. Like, who knew that was coming? I totally forgot about it.
Right?
But yeah, I think that was definitely some thirst, just wanting some attention there. And I did like the take my breath away on the violins while he was fishing it out.
That did make me laugh. But kudos to the editors this year and the producers, because they're really stepping it up. But I just love how they like drenched that jacket, and he was like soaking wet when he took it out, and he was just very sad about his jacket.
It was way better than when we saw it in the teaser. I remember we were like, this is going to be the dumbest thing ever, which it is dumb, but it still was good TV. I'll give it that.
Good TV. How about you?
My thirst was just Rodney running around naked. I like Rodney. We'll get to him. I thought that date was great, and I know he had to, but I mean, it was a thirsty, not that he had to do it, it was dare or whatever, but it's a thirsty thing that the show made him do.
Totally. All right, let's talk about our cringeworthy moment of the night. I know I spoiled it for you a little bit, but Will crying about the jacket, right?
Yes, 100%. I said what I needed to say about the situation, but that was I could not believe that he was crying, and it didn't feel like crocodile tears like I'm used to seeing on reality TV, where they're like holding their head down and like trying to push the tears out, or Candace on Potomac with the napkin. This was actual crying. And that personally made me uncomfortable, because it was about a jacket.
It was so uncomfortable. Mine uncomfortable moment was Jamie having that conversation with the producer, saying that Michelle is on spring break mode. Like, what? It's very savage of the producers to be like, and the editors to be exposing these conversations that they think that they're having in private. We saw it on Bachelor in Paradise as well, and now they're doing it again on The Bachelorette. So it seems like you have to to watch what you're saying at all times. But we talked about it last week. Jamie went from hero to zero so quick.
So quick. I love a producer moment. It's so savage. I'm fascinated by why they're doing that more and more. I don't totally understand what the end game is here, but I cannot wait to keep trying to find out. It was, of course, they don't show the producer's responses at all. Who knows if she was egging him on, but the whole thing made me so uncomfortable. Like, Michelle's like, what do you mean, spring break? Like, first of all, is that because she's like a teacher or something? She's not doing anything wrong. And Brandon is more competition than you are, Jamie. So like, back off. I didn't like the shaming of Michelle, whatever the spring break thing implied. That was lame. But wild that they showed it and made me think that Jamie and this producer are very tight, which makes me think this producer put the thing in his head about Joe and seeing her out in Minnesota with a light-skinned black man and all that things that he said last week. I always thought was kind of producer influence, but now more than ever, I think Jamie and this producer were in cahoots, and he got played. And we got to see it for once.
Yeah, he did get played. It's like an episode of Unreal, kind of, where they're like taking you behind the scenes a little bit. But yes, it seems like this was a little bit of a producer push, being like, oh, maybe that guy that your friend saw him with was Joe. And, it kind of plants your seeds in your head. And if they keep saying it and keep saying it, I don't know, maybe they did turn him into a villain. I don't know. I'm sure he's going to be talking about it on Men Tell All, but I'm actually kind of surprised that she sent him home and that this is not dragging on for 4 more episodes.
Michelle is not playing. Yeah. I love it. And I also think that it's almost all that stuff he did about Joe and whatever. It was definitely shady and villainy, and he clearly lied. Like, he was trying to manipulate the situation, which wasn't great. But I thought the spring break comments were way worse, because that was like questioning Michelle's character and like the other guys and thinking he was better than them. And that says more about his like real life personality than the stuff with Joe, because that felt kind of show produced, and that I feel like was genuinely him. So bye. Not going to miss you.
Bye. Not going to miss you. It was also so interesting or awkward and cringeworthy when he was talking about how the viewers were going to view this at home, and like talking about like episodes, and like that was weird.
I also didn't even understand his point.
I didn't either. I don't think anybody did. Everybody was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not about fans and viewers. This is about us like getting to know Michelle, and you're worried about how people are going to view you or how it's going to be popped up into certain episodes.
Was he worried about how the Joe thing was going to air and how he wanted to like be part of the storyline? It almost was that versus like, you'd think they might have the foresight to be like, if he's worried about episodes, he should think about how he's behaving.
Right.
He looks like an idiot. Yeah. I did like Nate in that moment. I'll give him that. I thought he was like very genuinely like, what the hell is this dude talking about? I liked him there. But yeah, so much weirdness there. And I think a lot, as always, left unsaid and unshown on this show. But it's time to give out a rose, I think. Who's getting your rose?
I really liked Rodney. I thought they had a really nice date. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't feel the connection between them, though. I just think that he's like a really good guy. I don't know. I didn't really get the spark that I've seen so far with her and like Nate and Joe and Brandon. I'm not really feeling it, but I really do like Rodney. So I had to give him a rose.
I like Rodney too. I definitely want him to stick around. It does feel a little friend-zoney, which I hate to say, because I didn't like that one guy who was like making fun of him for getting the one-on-one, saying like he's not a competition. I don't like that. I thought that was really like, again, says more about that guy than it does about anyone else. I think Rodney's cute. Seems like a really good guy. And I hope he sticks around, but I don't necessarily see total sparks with them. Because I don't really like Nate and I'm still a little whatever on Joe, I gave my rose to Michelle's dress because she just looked gorgeous and I'm not over it.
Yeah, no, that dress was stunning. It's so beautiful. And I hate to say it, like, I mean, I love Katie, but I just feel like her looks weren't as, as amazing as these looks have been so far. And I hate to compare the two, but I just feel like the stylist kind of is really bringing it this season with Michelle so far.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Katie, who's a really pretty girl too. I think that there was no denying the budget or whatever difference between these two seasons is you can feel it. The same way I felt like we felt watching Claire / Tayshia and then Matt James right after based on like the resorts. These two Bachelorette seasons feel very much different level of fashion and budget and production. And it's confusing, but it's hard to ignore.
It is. 100%. You couldn't have said it better myself. All right. Who do we want to see packing their bags and heading home?
All right. So this guy, Casey, I don't have like anything too bad against him, but he just like kind of was getting involved in the drama at the end. And I was like, who are you?
Right.
And not trying to age shame. I think he's like 36, which isn't even old, but he just like gives me old energy. And I feel like it's just not going to really work with him and Michelle. And I just don't like him. So Casey, I want you to leave.
I love it. Mine went to Will because I just feel like we have to like get rid of all the, and I mean, even though that he, you know, he cried over the jacket and things like that, and he's not really part of the whole Peter drama anymore. I just feel like that's still, that drama is still there, and we just need to get rid of the fat pretty much. And, you know, just have the guys here that want to be here. I feel like. Are
you shocked she sent Peter home?
No, not really, but shocked in a way that I thought that storyline would also continue for a few more episodes, and now it's not. So that's good at least.
Yeah, I really feel like the season is going, it's just paced so well. And it almost makes you think there's going to be like less episodes, which I don't think that's true. And I know Katie technically had less episodes because like half her guys quit at the end, but this feels like we're going at like a pretty quick pace in a good way. So I'm curious to see, I don't know if it's maybe the fall schedule, maybe they are going to have to, if there's like a holiday thing or something, but we're moving at a fast pace. I feel like
we really are. And I feel like hometowns are like right around the corner, but and we're only like,
because there's like 3 guys she actually like, so it's like we already know who's gonna get them.
Totally, it's like painfully obvious.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, Sarah, thank you so much for running down all things Bachelor with me as always. Who's on the podcast this week?
All right, I got a throwback for you. I don't know if you remember her, but Jacqueline from Ari's season of The Bachelor, who was then on season 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. She's now like got her master's in like mental health, and she's talking all this stuff about reality TV and mental health. So it's going to be a great conversation. She's recapping with me this week.
Awesome. Definitely make sure to check that out, and make sure to check back in on every Wednesday at Us Weekly's YouTube channel for Here for the Right Reasons. For all your Bachelor news, head on over to usmagazine.com, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.